welcome to the 2014 Brands Hatch Mini Festival. Today the crowds are here to enjoy some classic mini racing from the Sanwa Trophy Mini Endurance. Here to tell us a bit more about it is Nick Swift.
Most of the races that the guys do, or the competitors in the other series, the Masters Series, U2TC, they are 1 hour races with a pit stop, and you can drive single driver or double driver. So we thought with this, and it's quite, again, an iconic thing to do, recreating them European days in the 60s of 2 driver and pit stops, more of a mini endurance as we would call it here. And it works extremely well. You know, there's a lot of races that are won or lost in the pit stop. What we've done is we've decided to set a 30-second pit stop minimum time limit. So some guys will breeze that and they'll change in less than 30 seconds and be ready to go. Other people are going to find it more challenging to change and get drivers done in that period. So it is going to mix it up a little bit.
I've qualified pole here before when I used to race the mini Meaglers, but we've never had a good start from pole, so it's not the best place for me to be because it's. We'll see. We'll just have to. We had a good start yesterday in yesterday's race. We were 5th in the grid. We managed to snatch the lead in the first corner, but not for long because Bill Solis came flying past and couldn't keep his pace. So we'll see if we can hold them all up, bunch them all up, and let them squabble behind for a lap or two.
I raced one when I was a child in autocross racing, and my mum crashed one with me in it in the 60s when I was a little baby, so I suppose at the end of the day I've they're in your blood, these cars.
If there's a safety car and you're in the right time zone, there's a time zone where you're allowed to pit, you can gain the advantage by pitting then under a safety car. Otherwise it's just flat out and try and get my fat lump out of the car quick enough for the slim one to get in.
Let's have a look then at the bumper grid for the Sanwa Trophy Mini Endurance with Endaf Owens starting the car. He'll pass over to James Hall. Jonathan Lewis going the distance single-handedly. Then Andy Hack and Bill Solis want a row 2. Don Racine in 12th, just clear of Steve Jones, who showed well in the pre-66 Anglo-French battles that we've also had over the course of the festival weekend. The field completed by Mark Burnett, but with 25 cars on the grid, there is plenty of action ahead.
The cars are lining up on the grid now, ready for the Sanwa Trophy Mini Endurance. Starting in 3rd place, we've got the car of Danny Wheeler and Andy Hack. They'll be hoping for a repeat performance of last year when they managed to take the win. Starting in 2nd position, it's Jonathan Lewis. He's already shown winning performance this weekend, so he could be another one to watch. And starting from pole position, it's Endaf Owens. He'll be hoping that starting from pole will be lucky for him today. Whatever happens, it's set to be close and exciting. Let's go racing.
So 40 minutes to look forward to in the Sanwa Trophy Mini Endurance as the red lights flash on. Who's going to make the jump from the line? Away we go after a reasonably long hold. It's a great start from Jonathan Lewis as Endaf Owens used a little bit sideways in the midfield, 4 or 5 wide. They arrive into Paddock Hill Bend for the first time though. It's Lewis from Owens and then Andy Hackett here to be trying to find the space to move up into 3rd place. It is Hack in 3rd. It's Peter Baldwin into 4th position. The field climb into for his first time Glyn Swift in the Wolseley Hornet. Very distinctive car amongst the field, right in the middle of the pack as they swoop through Graham Hill Bend and onto the Cooper Straight, where Lewis attempts to build a little bit of a buffer over the rest of the field in these early stages. Of course, slipstreaming is the key here, but if you can break the toe from those behind, then it can make life very difficult for them. As we were hearing from Andy Hack earlier on, the plan is just a flat-out sprint, and then whether or not the safety car plays a role, then that could possibly determine the outcome of the race. So across the line, it is Lewis from Owens, then it's Andy Hack, 3rd place. There's Andy in the 88 car. Very different angle of attack for Paddock Hill Bend in comparison to Endaf Owens, both equally effective. To 4th position then, multiple mini champion form of Peter Baldwin. He is just ahead of Nick Swift. He's next along car 12, and Swift looking to the inside of Peter Baldwin as they come onto the Cooper Straight. Baldwin having to defend here as they sprint into Surtees. Swift though's got the inside line and edges past. It's a nice move. And then just in behind is Bill Solis, another driver who has got multiple mini championships to his credit. So they accelerate along the Bramham Straight through to completion of another lap. All looking to jostle the position into Paddock Hill Bend. The beauty is, given the diminutive nature of these cars, given the fact they're all running on 1960 specification tyres, they can take slightly different approaches through Paddock Hill. Seems to gather it upself nicely for Hellwood Hill. Out of Druids then. Jonathan Lewis still trying to break through at the front of the field as the rest of the group's behind, all closing up. Peter Baldwin now really has to consult his mirrors with the arrival of Bill Solis, and he has brought Stig Blomqvist with him for company as well. Ian Curley's not too far back. It really is an all-star lineup in the Sanwa Trophy Mini Endurance as Baldwin leaves a gap and Bill Solis needs absolutely no second invitation for that. So Solis heads in the particular train of cars onto the Bramham Straight towards Paddock Hill Bend. Ian Curley, a little bit of smoke coming from his car, trying to join in. He's got Gregor Frötscher as well, just in behind on the bright yellow Mini. Swoop down through Paddock Hill Bend, sliding sideways. Careful not to go out over the white lines at the edge of the corner. Druids and Stig Blomqvist turning in remarkably late. Maybe thought there was a little gap to the inside of Peter Baldwin, which very rapidly disappeared. Baldwin then taking the opportunity now to try and get back into pursuit of Solis. The sun making an appearance. It's otherwise been quite a chilly mini festival this time around at Brands Hatch. Nonetheless, it's not deterred the mini fanatics from pouring in through the gates to enjoy the action and really enjoy these cars, which are now getting towards classic status, being driven exactly as they should. Stig Blomqvist, though, has got Ian Curley now right up behind him along the Bramham Straight. Fanning out to try and take their turn. Peter Baldwin. Baldwin, though, won't be having any of that. Then slips it sideways through Paddock Hill. Solis, though, the white number 80 car, he's just moved ahead of Nick Swift, and he's sidling through this field with considerable effectiveness here as Ian Curley also darts the inside of Stig Blomqvist. Solis showing he really has learnt the tricks of mini racing through the years, which is just to steadily climb up through the pack to be exactly where you want to be in the latter stages of the race. Out front, though, Jonathan Lewis is to break some way clear of Endaf Owens and Andy Hack, who dispute second and third. Solis and Swift then joined in battle for fourth place. Then this trio behind by Peter Baldwin, Ian Curley and Stig Blomqvist, all part of that scrap. Around the straight, Curley looks to the outside of Baldwin. Blomqvist just following behind in the slipstream. Curley gains the place on Peter Baldwin. Still a long way from half distance. They're going to have to make a mandatory pit stop at some point. That will potentially turn the race on its head, but given that these cars are so evenly matched, guys really want to try and do as much as they possibly can on the track to get the optimal track position. So not let the race leader, Jonathan Lewis, romp off too far into the distance. So Stig Blomqvist in the bright blue car, number 66. Biding his time, waiting for the race to unfold in front of him. Through Surtees on towards Clearways. Baldwin just trying to build the momentum, build the pace. Still smoke from Curley's car. Whatever it is, though, it could just be an oil overfill because it isn't delaying him in any way, shape or form. The car's performance not really missing a beat as yet. We'll take a look back further through the field. Some absolutely fantastic tussles wherever you look, which is really what this Sanwa Trophy Mini Endurance is all about. It's what the Mini Festival is all about as well. Is that wherever you are on the pack, you'll always find someone to race with. So it's the Racine Allen car that heads this train into Paddock Hill Bend. 4 or 5 cars strong as well. Stefan Soule just towards the tail. In car 69, he's got a little bit of a gap over those doing battle behind. Side by side as well. They climb up. It's Neil Slart, then the 17 car, who looks to try and go around the outside of the Koskela entry. He finally maintains his ground through Graham Hill Bend, but immediately the bright red car of the Coskellas looks to fight back along the Cooper Straight and has the inside line here for Surtees. Even be able to squeeze through, indeed, gaining the position. Looks like they'll look to take advantage of the slipstream along the gravel straight. That's going to be his opportunity as the trim hangs off the car. They don't want this group of cars in front to break too far clear either, because we're not that far away from the mid-race pit stops in the Sanwa Trophy Mini Endurance and everything that will bring. So as battles continue throughout the field, Jonathan Lewis leads the way. We'll take a short break. Join us a couple of moments' time as the action continues. Welcome back to Brands Hatch, the Mini Festival and the Sanwa Trophy Mini Endurance. Jonathan Lewis leads the way from Endaf Owens. This is the fight for third between Andrew Hack, number 88, and the number 80 car of Bill Solis. This is a 40-minute Mini Enduro race, and the mid-race pit stops are on their way. And I think it's going to take force of nature to bring Bill Solis and Andy Hack into the pits. Two of them venerable Mini competitors. Fine exponents of their art. They know exactly how to get these cars working to perfection, and they are thoroughly entertaining the Brands Hatch crowd at this third running of the Mini Festival. So into Paddock Hill Bend, it's Hack to the inside line. Bill Solis looks to the outside, can't find a way through there. He tries to then force Andy Hack out wide. They've got Ian Curley closing in onto their tail all the while. So they head around the hairpin at Druids and then down towards Graham Hill Bend. Hack having to take a very tight line here, driving as wide a car as he possibly dares to prevent Bill Solis from getting too closely onto terms with him as they sprint along the Cooper Straight into Surtees. Flick to the left, then to the right. He's also making good progress is Glyn Swift in the Wolseley Hornet. As the first man to make his mid-race pit stop is Jonathan Lewis from the lead of the race. He decides to come in early, get his stop out of the way. It promotes then Endaf Owens into the lead of the race with a nice empty track ahead of him. Owens may try and jump Lewis in the pits. Pit lane begins to get a little bit busier as William Ward also flies into the pit lane. Towards as well as Laurel Majou. Jonathan Lewis rejoins the action. Stig Blomqvist thoroughly enjoying himself, thoroughly enjoying the showboating. He continues out on track. As the pit lane fills up.
Yeah, I got a good start and I enjoyed it at the start. Thought it was really great mixing it with the names that I've known over the years, you know. And then I just sort of gradually dropped back a little bit.
But fundamentally, brilliant fun. I mean, the cars are sideways everywhere. There's a lot of very even competitive cars to race, and yes, there's quite a lot of former Mini Miglia champions out there. So yeah, makes for good stuff. And I'll go away with a list of notes. There's things to be done. The car, we can make the car better. I'll have a word with the driver. I'm sure he could do a better job as well. And yeah, we'll be back.
So as the pit stops continue, out front it's Endaf Owens who leads the way. He's yet to pit in, flicks it sideways through Paddock Hill Bend. Oh, Nick Paddy has a big tank slapper and goes into the gravel and goes over a couple of times and ends up on his side there. So Nick Paddy, well, Bill Solis was saying he could do a better job. I don't think that was quite what he had in mind, as he comes to halt in the gravel trap. In Metcalf and Peter Cruz switch position in the 52 car. And unsurprisingly, the safety car is going to be scrambled. The recovery teams over to the scene of Nick Paddy's incident. Marshall's already there, of course, talking to the driver. It provides a good opportunity for Endaf Owens to jump into the pit lane. He will hand over to James Hall. As Owens launches himself from the cockpit of the car. And with the safety car on track, it's an opportunity for everybody to come into the pits who hasn't as yet done so, including Stig Blomqvist, who would appear to be one of the very last drivers in to make his pit stop. He rehydrates. As James Hall rejoins the action. So we can see car with its bonnet up as the door is shut. Stig Blomqvist is waved out and on his way. And there's an empty track, so Stig Blomqvist is going to rejoin here. and he comes out of the pits, rejoins the action. There is the safety car, and I think that will effectively give Stig Blomqvist a lap over the rest of the field. So this has worked out absolutely perfectly for Blomqvist. Whether it was luck or judgment, it matters not. So Nick Paddy, pleased to see that he walks away okay, as Stig Blomqvist joins the train with essentially a lap's advantage over the rest of the field.
Trying to drive them around here with no clutch is no joke, so I don't think we'll make it to the finish the way it's going, so time will tell.
Got him to third, quite comfortable in third. Track's very slippery, so we can't get the traction down how we'd like to. But we're still in the hunt, but the safety car's out because the car has rolled at Paddock Hill Bend. So whether that's going to fall in right for us, I don't know.
So the safety car peels in, and this is going to be very interesting because the order is completely jumbled, with pit stops having played their way through. So ahead of the field, it's Graham Churchill who is at the front of the pack. Essentially the race leader, Stig Blomqvist, is at the very back of the pack. Headlights ablaze. Jonathan Lewis is on a little bit of a charge. The same goes for Daniel Wheeler. This is going to be a really tense phase of the race as everybody looks to establish not only race position but track position. Graham Churchill has got the optimal position, so does Glyn Swift, because essentially the pair of them haven't got too much to worry about in terms of what's going on in front of them. We have to worry about cars closing up behind them, but not immediately. There's Jonathan Lewis, who is going to be absolutely fuming with the way that the race has unfolded for him, because he fitted in from the lead, would have expected, based on his pace earlier on, but for the safety car intervention and the timing of some of the pit stops, to have been out front. But essentially, he has got to try and make up an entire lap on Stig Blomqvist. Now, where is Blomqvist, you may ask? There he is, at the back of the queue. He is just waiting for the pack to settle itself down, because he knows where he is. But Stefan Soule goes sideways, and he gets tagged by James Hall, and Hall goes flying off into the gravel trap. Stefan Soule emerges, but I think he's in trouble. He's got damage, yeah, to the front suspension, and so that is a Mini in trouble. That is a Mini in much more trouble. James Hall on his side, emphatically out of the race. Stefan Soule walks away. Let's hope the same applies for James Hall. Indeed it does. There he is, out of the car. Once more the safety features doing what they should, which brought out the safety car, who now picks up our race leader, Stig Blomqvist. But Blomqvist has still got, given the traffic between himself and Jonathan Lewis in second place, a substantial advantage here, as damaged cars are recovered. The Brands Hatch Marshals being kept busy in the latter stages of this Sanwa Trophy Mini Endurance. And this is what these enduro races are all about. It goes beyond the sprint race format, so it's the responsibility then of rallying legend Stig Blomqvist to pace the field as the race gets back underway, and hopefully now we'll be going green all the way through to the checkered flag and the conclusion of the race. So Blomqvist leads the charge towards Paddock Hill Bend. The cars to watch for towards the back of the field, though, are going to be cars 88 and 1, Daniel Wheeler and Jonathan Lewis, because they are arguably the two quickest cars through the field. And there's Jonathan Lewis pushing in a little bit too hard, bumping and boring through the gravel trap, so he rejoins with work to do. The car that Blomqvist at the moment is currently swapping with, the Steve Lanning car, is in fact a lap down, so essentially Phil Lanning is currently trying to unlap himself, and Stig Blomqvist doesn't need to do battle with that car. The extent to which he knows exactly where it is remains to be seen. But Blomqvist leading the field, leading the race as well, and we haven't got that many laps remaining, and the real challenge here is for the drivers chasing down. It's both the sheer quantity of cars to overhaul and the time deficits. There is Jonathan Lewis down Wheeler, you saw flashing through just ahead of him. So they've got about 15 or so seconds to make up on Stig Blomqvist, plus they've got about 15 or so cars to pass. Headlights ablaze from Daniel Wheeler, but they're 3 wide in front of him as Jonathan Lewis looks to close in. That's going to be very, very tight. It's the Koskellers who allow Wheeler through. Lewis has to pitch his car completely sideways, take evasive action. Tim Harbour in the blue and white chevron car is also next to target for both Wheeler and Lewis, and he is successfully dealt with by both Wheeler and eventually Lewis around the outside, just about finds track space. So the pair of them continue their pursuit of Stig Blomqvist. Blomqvist somewhere up the road ahead of them. Wheeler turns through Surtees, and they're rapidly running out of laps here. Probably got another 6 or so cars they've got to pass, with another 12 seconds to close in. So here is the race leader, Stig Blomqvist. Over the line he comes. He's still doing battle with Phil Anning. That is really a secondary concern. Blomqvist's primary concern is winning the race. Actually, probably a secondary concern is entertaining the crowd by flicking it sideways wherever humanly possible. We've got this group of cars behind now. Where is Dan Wheeler? Here he is. Jonathan Lewis just in behind him. The pair of them in pursuit in the fight for second place. Also got the swifter Welsh car not too far back either, as Jonathan Lewis looking in these late stages of the race to see if he can find a way past Daniel Wheeler. The pair of them then side by side along the Cooper Straight into Surtees, as Blomqvist it is marching clear ahead of the field as he heads through Clark Curve, this for the final time. The pit stop worked out perfectly for him, but he's driven supremely well to complete the deal. So victory in the Sanwa Trophy Mini Enduro going to Stig Blomqvist. And a very popular win that is going to be around the Brands Hatch circuit. Second place just on the line as they sprint up towards it goes in favour of Dan Wheeler and Andy Hack, with Jonathan Lewis completing the podium in third as the rest of the pack surging through. Thoroughly entertaining race with plenty of twists. So Stig Blomqvist victorious from Andy Hack and Dan Wheeler, with Jonathan Lewis completing the rostrum ahead of Harrison Williams, Welch and Swift and Gregor Furcher, an excellent 6th.
Yeah, must have been very lucky with everything, because it was just working my way with safety car and everything.
I think there was a little bit more than luck there.
No, okay, I was driving a bit, but the other boys are driving very quick as well, so it was just had the timing right there. He was lucky, I think.
And your first weekend racing in a Mini, what do you think after that?
Nah, the car is a lot of fun, so I understand the boys who is doing it a bit more than what I'm doing, because they must have great fun every weekend they're racing.
You could certainly tell the car that you were in, because it was a lot more sideways than anybody else.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. So.
Is that the secret?
No, not really, but okay, it's a bit safer for me than to do that.
Really over the moon about the whole thing. It's gone really well for us. Didn't expect it.
And of course, quite a good story to go home and say that you've come second behind the Stig.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, to share a podium with Stig Blomqvist, something a bit special with that. So yeah, super.
And made a mistake, went in the gravel, got back out again, caught back up to Dan. Dan defended, fair play, you know, finished third. I'm happy with that. To be on the podium with Stig Blomqvist, what more could you want?
Well, that brings us to the end of another great event for the Sanwa Trophy Mini Endurance. It's always close racing, and it's always so exciting to watch these historic racing cars in action. That's it from the 2014 Mini Festival. We'll see you next time.